can't sit with her. Queens over, they ain't similar. World changer women, we be feeling them. All around the world, they be screaming now. She gon' be like,
I'm celibate. So.
How long you been celibate?
Not that long.
But you've taken a
yeah, I've decided
route of celibacy.
Yeah, because I mean,
why?
I've been a lesbian for 10 years, over 10 years. Since I was 10 years old, so I'm 26. I'll be 27 in June, so 17 years. And
so you've just been a lesbian.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can't even say I've been a lesbian for. You've just been a lesbian.
Yeah, I've only been a lesbian.
If you're 10 years old, you weren't doing nothing at 10. So you
yes,
just.
I was.
All right. No, what I mean is, it's like. Okay, fuck it. I ain't got shit. You just a lesbian.
Yeah, and so I decided that I was gonna give that to God because I'm not going to close myself off.
Give what to God?
Give being a lesbian to God. Like
here, God, take my lesbian.
Like,
shit.
Well, He's like, you're gonna be. That's your cross to bear. So that's my thing. It's like I've built up this whole persona because of my hurt and my brokenness. I built up an entire persona around that. I need to be more masculine. Men suck, so I don't ever want to talk or touch a man in that way ever. And well,
good.
And so then on top of that, like femininity is weak, so I might as well go out and go get these girls, like blah blah blah.
That's how you felt.
That's how I was. For
like the last 17 years.
Yeah. And there was once I had a boyfriend. I did have a boyfriend in high school. He was my friend. And my mom wanted me to go to prom. And so I asked, my friend was like, I'll help you out and I'll just be your boyfriend for like a couple months. And then we'll go to prom, and right after that, like, it'll be fine. But when we started dating, on the day of prom, we were standing on the steps and I'm about to leave the house. My family's like, kiss, 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 kiss.
What kind of family is that? Like, some Disney family, like, at the door and shit.
I'm like,
that was my family, so, like, die. Go ahead.
I was like, and I looked at him and he looked like he wanted to. And I didn't want to.
Come on, man. He's like standing
I didn't want to.
Was he a black guy?
No, well, he was half black.
His mixes.
And I didn't want to.
But you're beautiful, though.
Well,
why is he not going to want to kiss you?
He did. But I didn't want to.
But I'd have been there like, you know, like, we gotta show them. I'd have been like, I mean, they watching.
I'd be like, I had to really watch my face because my face will give stuff away. And I'm in front of my family and they're taking pictures and I'm like,
and they're like, kiss.
And then they're like, kiss, and I'm like, are you sure? We don't have to do this. And they're like, kiss, kiss. And so then we kissed and they were cheering and then we got in the car and I was like, God, I'm so glad that's over.
And he was like, me
and
too.
He didn't say anything. And so I didn't realize until, like, we had still been hanging out, but we had never officially broken up because I don't think, personally, I don't really think that
together. It was just, just a joke. Like,
but he took it like it's not a joke. And so then we were still spending a lot of time together and everything, but then he like, it was just weird. I told you about the birthday card thing. Like, he wrote me a birthday card and the words were upside down and some of it just looked, it was horrible. And I just couldn't, I was like, look, we're friends, but I don't want to be your girlfriend. Like, I'm sorry, I don't. So that was just for prom.
So when you say, so where you're at now, you say you're celibate.
Yes.
And you've given your
lesbian, because that was something, that was a crutch
to God, and you felt like you was only a lesbian to protect yourself. Not only. I am very much so very attracted to women. Don't get me wrong. I gave that to God. It wasn't a facade.
But no, it's
completely.
No.
But the way you carried yourself and things you did was more of a protection.
Protection than anything else. Like,
so now I was afraid of how my body.
Yeah, exactly. So I could. And the thing is that, like, when I say I gave it to God, like, I want to make sure that I'm not limiting God from bringing me all the stuff that He has for me, no matter what it is, because He wants nothing but good for me. So if I am the reason why He's not giving me everything that I have waiting for me on this earth because of my personal experiences and my feelings towards those experiences, then no, I don't want to hold myself back from anything. Yeah, I'm not sexually attracted to men, but if that's only because of the situation I had when I was 7 years old, and I turned that part off of me, then I'm not going to out of hurt or brokenness or out of fear of something stop myself from encountering someone or something I've never encountered before. Out of fear. I don't like living out of fear, and if that's where that's coming from, I don't want it. And so, and also being celibate and not having to deal with women is freeing up a lot of my time.
Hell fucking yeah. And it's not even about women. Well, women are the worst. I'm a man. I take it out for fun. But it's just people.
Yeah.
And not just people. Because look, you're sitting here with me for a couple hours, and you know it's the kind of people that you're around. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And it's like,
and it's
even,
where's that?
Where is it going? What's the energy? Where is it coming
from? And where is it going?
Am I coming to see you only just to come and go?
Yeah.
Then, and if that's the case, then
what's the point?
There's nothing great or powerful is gonna come from that. So, yep. I get where you're at. It's a similar place that I was at, and from me putting myself in that space, you know, great things. I discovered myself a whole lot. You know what I mean? I started to understand what I really want out of life. I understand what I needed as a man in a woman. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Whereas before it was like, well, you look good.
Yep. And for me, that's what it's been with.
Let's link, like, let's go. Like,
for me, that's what it's been with women.
And I feel like too many of us base our relationships off that judgment. It's like, oh, you look good, you smell nice, we'll look good on road. Yeah, we can have okay conversations. Let's go.
Okay, conversations.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah,
it's horrible.
Do you know what I mean? And I realized a lot of relationships like are based on, like, a lot of people don't do this.
Yeah.
Because just sit and talk.
Or just sit
and exchange.
Be quiet.
And sit and be quiet and still feel like something's
exchanging.
Something's exchanging. Whereas most times, if I look at my previous relationships, the only time it was great is when we was experiencing something else together. Like if we went to a show, or we was watching a movie, or we was with other two people. Something that distracts us from each other.
Exactly.
And then the only other time we could really be with each other is if we was having sex.
Yep.
Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Me too.
I'm noticing from speaking to people, that's a lot of people's relationships are built on the foundation of physical interaction. And that's a shaky ground.
It's not just shaky. It's like building a house. It's like trying to build a house, not just on sand, but like literally building a house on what is it called? Quicksand, or like wet tar. It's just gonna pull itself down, and it might take longer than some people might not even realize that this is a sinking boat. Something my aunt always tells me: if you see the train coming, get off the tracks. Get off of the tracks, because if the train's not gonna slow down, it has
gonna speed up.
Yes, it has a certain velocity. It has an inertia with it. Like it's coming for you. Like
coming for your ass.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, do you know what? Something that you said that makes me think of something that Dr. Umar Johnson. You heard of Dr. Umar Johnson? Okay, this guy named Dr. Umar Johnson. He's a doctor, but he's also a black psychologist, if I'm getting it right. And he's a teacher in a lot of communities. Anyway, look him up. He's very well known and respected. He said with homosexual activity, a lot of it stems, especially from the people who his clients and stuff he's dealt with, a lot of it stems from abuse as a child. And that, what he said, it was interesting to me, because the people I've spoken to in that depth, who have asked about that, a lot of them have been through that as a child. Do you think, but that narrative goes against what society says, which is you're born that way or you're not?
Well,
so what do you think as someone who's both?
I didn't realize that I was abused until I was 16.
Wow.
I didn't even remember that it happened until somebody looked at me a certain kind of way, and I had a flashback. Wow. And in that moment of them, at first I was in shock. And my mom's not a crier or like anything. Like, my mom's really like, she's really cool, but she's like, all right, my family's like, you cry once and you get over it. Like, whatever it is, you don't spend your time crying, because that does nothing. You cry once and you get over it. And so when that happened, I completely freaked out. Like, I freaked out. I was screaming and crying, and I felt like, how I could see it now is like I couldn't even trying to articulate the feeling that I felt. It was like a wave of just multiple emotions. Like I was enraged, I was hurt, I was disrespected, I felt like I had been like I felt ashamed, I felt guilty, I felt nauseous, I felt more than anything was probably rage. More than anything else that I felt in that moment. Going back to that moment, I felt rage. And the only reason why I'm even able to talk about it like this is because the past few years I've really been dealing with it. Like really been dealing with it. Really the past year I've really gotten down to really getting it out so that I don't have to have it controlling my life anymore. Mm-hmm. But more than anything at that very moment, it was like I felt like a tornado inside. Like I felt like everything was spinning, and I was screaming at the top of my lungs, crying. And I heard my mom saying, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I could hear her crying, and she didn't know what was going on. And it was almost like because of how I was feeling, she could feel whatever I was feeling. Yeah. And in that moment, it was overwhelming for her to even experience me as like 16 or 17 being that way, because I'm not like that.
You're not that kind of person.
Yeah, so like when it all hit me, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And so she told me later on, I guess I started working through it, but I actually started going out and doing stuff, and like I think a part of me broke open. I broke open, but with that, a personality started pouring out of me that I didn't realize was there. I was no longer, I used to be very timid and like wanted everybody to like me or whatever have you, and I didn't stop entirely being that way, but I became over it very quickly. And then after that, a few years after that, I had started doing drugs, and I started making friends with people and started doing drugs and all this stuff. And then I went to just
social.
I was smoking weed, but like that wasn't anything serious. And I started doing a lot of acid. I did cocaine a lot. I did a lot of coke. But that wasn't until I was about 20. And so between 17 and 20, 17 and 19, I just started going out with people that was in my neighborhood. Then I graduated high school, and my mom actually filled out an application for me to go to college, and so I ended up going to college, and she changed my whole wardrobe, and she gave me all these girly clothes. And down in my family's Haitian, so in Haitian culture, like that is not it doesn't fly. No. So you cannot dress tomboyish or boy or like a boy. But in college I started dressing like a guy, and like and I had, my hair was like, I had the Justin Bieber before Justin Bieber came out. So my hair was like, when I blow dry my hair is bone straight. So I had the Justin Bieber before Justin Bieber came, and so I was around the campus, and I was skateboarding at the time because I was like hanging out with all the white kids in high school. And so in college I was on an all black campus, and I was one of, they called us the 4 fly dykes on campus.
4 fly dykes.
So
what?
Yes. So because we were always dressing dope, and so like I traded clothes with this gay boy on campus named Justin, and we traded clothes, and he was like, I know you're just fake, and this is not how you're supposed to be. And then I started crying because I was like, my mom made me wear these clothes, she made me get my hair braided, I don't even like this. I didn't feel like I knew who I was. And so right after that, my grandmother passed right after right after leaving college, my second year, and I didn't end up going back to college. So my sophomore year, my grandmother, my uncle, and my great grandmother died, and I had 2 jobs, and I threw myself into work, just working all the time. So since that experience up until now, I hadn't really dealt with it. I'm used to when something overwhelming happens, I throw myself into work, or I throw myself into something just to
get away with it. Yeah. A lot of people do that, man.
But it's not healthy. It's not healthy. But the imagine yourself as metal, and you think you're fine because you're inside of this metal thing, but on the outside of you, on your back, nobody told you, but there's rust. And you're rusting in your joints, and you're rusting all down you, and you don't know it. And in order to get this, once you realize that there's rust on you because it starts creeping over your shoulder, you know you need to get it off. But you didn't know it was there before. So now that process of getting the rust off is not easy. It's very painful. It's a painful healing process. So that's why I say between that time and now, I've had to do a lot of like searching, searching as to why am I the way I am. A lot of people don't want to ask themselves that question. I don't know, you tell me. I don't think society gives them opportunity to. Yeah, society doesn't give them the opportunity. It's like you're that way or you're not. You're that way because you were born like that. And I thought I was born gay. I did. I thought I was born gay. But now I can honestly say that based off of what God told me, you're born attracted to everyone. That's one thing that he drilled that into me. You're born being attracted to everyone and everything. Yeah. Everything on this earth is lust. You can lust after food. You can lust after the beach. You can lust after clothes. You can lust after sex. You are born being attracted to everything because everything is awesome in your eyes. It's not that you're not supposed to be attracted to everything. It's just that desire, are you idolizing it? Is it hindering you from your relationship with God? And that's why I say, even though society says, oh yeah, you're born this way and this, that, and the third, and it makes people feel okay, you have to ask yourself. It has to come down to a, why am
personal
I?
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? And my thing was if this person that I'm being is coming from a place of fear, I don't want to live from fear, because that means I'm limiting myself from something, regardless of what that is. I would love to marry a beautiful woman. I love women. So when it comes down to it, that'd be wonderful. But if God has planned for me either to not be married at all or to be married to a man, and I want to limit myself because
a beautiful man,
and I want to limit myself and I want to limit myself because I'm
why did you jerk when I said a beautiful man? What? Wait, what?
I don't even know what that would be.
You're uncomfortable with the sound of
beautiful.
Oh shit! Well, you know, I've been cleaning up, you know, the vegan meals and shit. Nah, joking. Go ahead.
But I don't know what a beautiful man to me would be. I don't know what that is.
What do you mean?
I don't know what that is. I don't know what does that look like? What does that see? What does that feel like?
What do you mean?
I've had a lot of guy friends, a lot of guy friends. I was the homie, and so I see life from a woman's perspective because I've had men come up to me, oh, I could teach you what it's like to be a woman.
Yeah.
The hell? What are you talking about? You could teach me what it's like to be a woman.
Yeah.
By sticking your dick inside of me, that's not gonna teach me anything. But you just you're kind of a barbarian.
Yeah.
But my experience of men has been like that. And it's ooh. Or me and my homies, oh yeah, you know, that girl looks we'll go back and forth, we'll be joking, but a lot of it is just really crude. It's not anything of substance.
Yeah.
You're probably one of the first men that I've met. You're the second guy that I have met that can have a conversation of substance with me. And I'm 26.
That's fucked.
So.
I see. That's deep, man. Yeah, I don't know what to say to that. Because, it's good on my part, but it's not good in general.
Yeah.
That's not good.
But their expectations, the expectations for them are set so low, it's not hard for them to exceed.
To not want to, yeah.
Yeah, to reach any further.
Because that's what I mean.
Reach that far.
When I say a beautiful man, it's just it's not even about looks.
No.
It's about the feeling of
the conversation.
The person who's personified in front of you.
Yes.
It's damn, that's a beautiful person.
Mm-hmm. He just happens to be a man.
Yeah.
If you're a woman, I'm well, you're a beautiful woman. Yeah. But you're not a woman. You're a man. So, this is what...
So I'm not beautiful?
You are beautiful.
Okay. If I was a woman, I'd definitely be beautiful.
Yeah. I might try to holler at you. But
crazy. Shit, I might try to holler at you.
But having conversations like this, I've dated girls, and I could say the exact same thing about the girls that I've dated. My ex-girlfriend, oh my God, she looked absolutely gorgeous. She was absolutely horrible. Like, I mean, we couldn't have a conversation like this. She didn't get it. She wasn't there. Like, but I've always been the person to try to make people get there. Like, if I can get here, you can get here. No, what's meant for me is for me. So my understanding, the amount of wisdom imparted on me, my knowledge, if I can come into conversation with somebody and it's there, then it's there.
Then it's there. You can't give that to someone.
Yeah, but I've tried.
See if they got it, they don't.
It's very frustrating.
You see if you got it or you don't got it. Yeah, that's crazy. That's deep, man. That's deep. See? That's what I'm saying. Like, and do you know what it is? Yeah. We need each other. Black men and black women specifically.
Absolutely.
We need each other. These kind of conversations need to be the norm at a fucking chicken shop or wherever you eat or wherever. It just needs to be the kind of thing, because for you to be able to casually open yourself up to me in that way, it's more. It takes more to do that than to physically open your legs or your mouth to kiss or to sexually go there with somebody. Open yourself up intellectually, intimately, like mentally. You're allowing your spirit to say, you know, this is who I am. That's hard for a lot of people to do.
Yeah, because it's painful.
It is painful, more so because we don't know how it's gonna land on the next person. We don't know how we're gonna be portrayed after we've done that. So sometimes it's even more vulnerable, you know. And I really want to be able to, I don't know how, but I really want to be able to create spaces and environments, you know, even if it's informally, where people feel so free and comfortable that they can just connect like that with people, man. Because, you know,
where they feel safe.
For you to say you met me a couple weeks ago, if I'm the second guy you met, that's a bit messed up.
I know it's